These are devotions for people at a social distance. This morning in my personal devotions, I was kind of blown away by a little verse that I no doubt read many times before in the 11th chapter of Hebrews, but that just never struck me right before. Hebrews 11:21. Now, in this whole passage, of course, the author of the letter to the Hebrews, who seems to be an anonymous, is explaining faith and the nature of faith and what it means to live and practice faith. And he does that mostly by giving all of these wonderful examples drawn from the Old Testament of people of great faith. And I was particularly struck by this example that he gives in verse 21. By faith, Jacob, the patriarch, when dying, blessed each of the sons of Joseph, bowing in worship over the top of his staff. So this is looking back, of course, to the story of near the death of Jacob, when he comes down into Egypt and he blesses all of his sons, and he goes and he blesses in particular the sons of Joseph, the two sons, Ephraim and Manasseh. And but just that phrase, the idea that he bowed in worship over the top of his staff, is this wonderful picture, I think, of faith in that intergenerational context. You know, so often, and this is something we see in the church and in society in general, so often we have an older generation who say, yes, we need young people. We need them to take over. We need them to do the work of the church, or we need them to do the work of society. And us older people, well, we've done our time. We've served our time. It's time for us to bow out. But do we bow to the young people in God as they come up? That's what we see Jacob doing in this passage. He's bowing out of the story. He's saying, I am going to trust in God that through these young people, Ephraim and Manasseh, my legacy will be carried on. I am letting go of control. And that's what often seems to be lacking in that intergenerational handoff. You very clearly see it in the church. You get together with older people in the church, and yes, they will complain about how the young people don't do this or don't do that, and we need more young people to do this or that. But they are not about to give up control over the shape of what the future looks like. They want to keep that control. And that's the opposite of the picture we have of Jacob here. He's bowing before the majesty of what these children are going to do. He doesn't know what they will do. He doesn't know what they will accomplish. That's what the faith is about. But he has faith that in God they will be able to rise to the challenges before them, and they will take the nation, the people, the tribes of Israel into new directions and do new things. And Jacob is saying, I don't control that anymore. It's no longer my thing. So don't complain about what younger people are failing to do or what they're doing in your idea wrong. You need to bow to them and say, yeah, we'll let you go with it. We'll let you run with it. And yeah, you'll probably make mistakes, because we made mistakes too. Every generation makes mistakes. But in faith, this is going to lead to something that God is a part of. And that's what I think Jacob bowing in worship over the top of his staff is talking about. Lord our God, thank you for the incredible potential you give us in younger generations who often see things very differently from us. Let us act like Jacob in faith and bow over the top of our staff as we give them that power and influence that they need to go out and do what you are calling them to do. Amen.